What's up, guys? Welcome back to a daily video of LoyalBoyGaming. We're gonna be reacting to Mr. Who's the Boss for its cheapest versus most expensive laptop. So let's get in.
It's the most expensive. So let's see what improves as you spend more money. And does expensive necessarily mean
change this.
better? So at just $70, we have the Coda 1.1. Pretty basic unboxing experience. It just comes presented in some foam inserts. But even then, how is this possible for that price?
It is.
This is a full laptop. It's thin, it's light, it's got a smooth matte finish. And it's not even badly built. The hinge is smooth, the body doesn't creak. This $70 laptop comes with 12 months of Microsoft apps included, worth $60. The delivery was free. Oh my god. The trackpad's probably a 5 out of 10. It's a little bit small and rough, but it does respond to multi-touch gestures. This keyboard though, this I would give a 6 to. The keys have nice travel, which gives that satisfying typewriter-like experience. Only downside is the plastic around the keys does flex a little bit as you press. Now, for every laptop, we're also going to have Cinebench, which gets the computer to render this incredibly realistic, difficult scenario to see how powerful the processor is. So in this case, our dual-core 1.1 GHz Intel Celeron is really struggling. This is like watching paint dry, which leads us to a pretty lowly score of 308 points. To be fair though, you really don't need much power to run things like Microsoft Word, and this is plenty. And then, to test the graphics, GTA 5. This is quite funny. The laptop's 64 gigabytes of internal memory is not even enough to hold the game, so running it off this, which
That's
costs
just
about
so
3 times as
crazy.
much as the laptop. Another fun fact, this laptop actually doesn't have the graphics power to even be able to open GTA 5 in full screen. So we actually have to go into the app config file and tweak the settings so that it only opens in this windowed mode, and then we full screen it. Oh my gosh, it's running at like 4 frames per second. So running this at 800 by 600 resolution. It's like a smartphone resolution from 12 years ago. The hardest thing to process here is the loading times of everything. I'm waiting for this game to load for about 10 minutes. Oh my god, we're in! It does look like a mobile game in a best case scenario. I'll move my finger across the trackpad and a full 2 seconds later the laptop follows. Feels kind of ironic trying to sprint in this condition. Okay, so we've jumped online and I've clicked quick join into a real person's race. Although the irony of quick is not lost on me. I'm so sorry you're in a mental state. It's actually just occurred to me how much lag is going to be introduced into this session from my end. So yeah, 1968 from GTA 5. My mum's age. Hey, off we go! Oh, look how their car's just jumping! There is so much lag happening right now.
I know, I can see that.
Probably mostly on my end. I've just gone through a building. That shouldn't have happened. Just got absolutely whooped by a 55-year-old. So how much more does $500 get you? This is the Lenovo V15 G2. And first impressions, the unboxing is surprisingly similar. Still a plain cardboard box, which just like last time comes with a laptop embedded between 2 pieces of foam, and then a charger. But in terms of the actual machine itself, big difference. The webcam's gone from a slightly laggy, pretty grainy 720p image on the Coda to a slightly higher quality, but still 720p webcam. But it does have a light that shows you when a program is accessing it, and even a manual shutter that you can use to physically cover it up during your private moments. There's more ports on the side, including a port on Ethernet for wired internet, a Kensington port, which lets you physically restrain your laptop to your office table, for example. And also a USB 3.2 port, which if I try and transfer across the same file on both of these laptops, on the Coda, I drop that onto the desktop. It took about 5 seconds. Drag the same file across. That just happened instantly. There wasn't a loading bar. I guess it makes sense. Theoretically, USB 3.2 is 10 times faster than USB 2.0. I like this trackpad. It's made of a noticeably smoother material. And if you listen to the click sounds the Coda makes compared to this, the Lenovo does feel more refined and put together. 7 out of 10. The keys are also smoother. They're very cushioned, and there's no flexing of the body at all when you hit them, which is great for typing quietly, but it does lose a little bit of that satisfying chaotic typing energy that the Coda has. So I'd keep my rating at a 6 overall. Oh, we haven't talked about speakers yet. Both laptops have bottom-firing speakers, which does sound like a strange idea, but it's actually done with a lot of mid-price machines like this to try and bounce the sound into your face, as opposed to just blindly shooting up to the ceiling. But the sound quality is way up. This is the $70 Coda. Well, the point is, you can tell that these are low-power speakers that are not moving a lot of air. But for $500, much better. It lacks a little bit of sharpness, but it's good enough. The screen's gone from an 11.6 inch to a 15.6 inch, which is about 2 times the area. Although I would say the contrast is slightly worse, and the viewing angles kind of suck, because this is a TN panel, which is the most basic form of modern LCD. But where I am noticing the biggest improvement with this $500 laptop is the performance. Everything takes so long to happen on the coder. Even pulling up the Bing homepage is a big ask, although it might just not want to, I can see why. But everything here is happening many times faster, fast enough that it doesn't feel like a burden. And that's because, for starters, the storage has gone up 64 gigabytes of simple flash memory to 256 gigabytes of fast M2 SSD. There's a better Wi-Fi chip and better antenna, which is making such a difference that we're stuck at 40 megabits per second here, but we're at 200 on the Lenovo, even though we're the same distance from the same network. It's the benefit of being compatible with Wi-Fi 6, which this one isn't. The processor has been upgraded from a 1.1 GHz dual-core to a 2.6 GHz AMD Ryzen 3 quad-core with actually 8 threads, meaning that it can handle even more workflows, leading to an astronomical CPU bump on Cinebench all the way from 308 points to 4,942. That's wild. So spending 7 times more does actually get you a lot more than 7 times the performance. 16 times in this case. And of course, this upgraded chip also has upgraded graphics baked into it. So if we pull up GTA 5 again, so much better. It actually looks like a proper PC game now. I don't love the lack of contrast on this screen. It does look quite washed out. But it is thankfully running at least 30 frames per second, which is smooth enough that you can kind of just not think about it. Let's see if we can find Mona 1968 again. Let's give us something to moan about. Now that I'm back with some proper equipment, it's been a long time since I've played proper PC games. But you know what? It is pretty cool that for $500 you can play GTA 5 on quite easily medium settings, meaning that from the next laptop onwards, we're going to be going even past the technical max limit of this game.
Hey guys! Today we're going to learn how to add the scrolling animation to your website in Wix Studio without.
But let's see for ourselves. This is where things get properly exciting. $1,200 M-side camera. You can definitely tell the weight of the package has gone up, but I'm quite surprised to see that the quality of the presentation is kind of the same. There's a much larger power supply to keep something of this caliber juiced up, and then the laptop. It does beg the obvious question, the $500 laptop is already at the point where there's very little wrong with it. So what on earth do you get for 2.5 times the price of that? Okay, the web page of this laptop is actually hilarious. The new Katana GS76 is built with the same exquisite craftsmanship used to forge a blade. What do I do with that knowledge? And sub to the channel would be fruity. Anyways, aside from the blade-like properties, the first thing I'm noticing is that it is even bigger. There's no beating around the bush. This is one of the chunkiest laptops I've ever laid my hands on. And it's kind of great because, you know, there's so much space to rest your hands on. But I wouldn't necessarily say that the build quality's any higher. It's about the same. The trackpad's still on the smaller side. I have no idea why with this much room for it. It's good quality, but I'm not loving the amount of force you need to put in to click it. But I am enjoying this keyboard. It's backlit for starters, which is an actual game changer if you're planning on using it in bed at night, though it is kind of evil looking, so don't know how I feel about that. And then the majority of the keys, they are still a little bit on the soft side. They don't have a huge amount of travel, which is less fun for typing, but it means you can be more responsive when you're gaming. And they've at least made sure that the spacebar and the enter key do feel distinct and satisfying. I could do this for quite a long time. Very fun. 8 out of 10. But $1,200 is well within what I would call the luxury price range. So at this point, it's not just about how good the fundamentals are, it's also the other niceties. For example, it leans a lot more into gaming-specific features. So you've got this entire MSI suite, which lets you do literally any kind of fiddling you could possibly think of. There's gaming mode, Wi-Fi analysis, hardware diagnosis, everything. You get high-res audio, still coming from 2 downwards-facing speakers, but those now have 2 watts of power each instead of 1.5. So this is the base of the last laptop. Again, very inoffensive sound. There's nothing wrong with it. And this is $1,200. It's definitely punchier, and I can also tell more spatial separation, potentially just because there's more distance between the 2 speakers, but it doesn't feel like a whole tier above. I would say though, general browsing around on the internet feels way quicker. And if you run one of these speed tests, you will probably be able to see why. So again, same connection to the same network, but this has faster download speed by about 50 megabits per second, almost double the upload speed. But the biggest improvement you're getting between these 2 price points is the latency. It's gone all the way from 102 milliseconds to just 27. And when you've got
Well, I
general
guess
internet speeds as fast as this, the latency actually becomes the bigger determining factor in the overall experience. Oh yeah, also the screen, huge leap. I mean, to start with, just like the rest of the laptop, it's bigger at 17.3 inches, which might sound like a subtle difference versus 15.6, but in total, that's about 25% more screen area, which I'd actually say is very much the difference between this feeling like a laptop experience, tiding me over until I get home to my proper rig, and feeling like you're at your main workstation. Like, this is the place where the job gets done. Also, this is an IPS panel, which compared to this TN panel is brighter, has more poppy colors and better contrast, and has a 144 Hz refresh rate versus 60. It'll be tough for you to experience it just through the camera, but trust me, all the scrolling and browsing feels next level responsive. And definitely like you're getting treated, as opposed to it just being purely functional. But I think the thing you'll be most surprised by is the power difference. So in terms of CPU now, we have a 12th gen Intel i7, and it's actually going well. It's got 14 cores and 20 threads. And if we run the same Cinebench benchmark, that's 14,754. Or in other words,
it's like
full-on
10
times improvement, which yet again, it's more than the difference in price. But this is what I'm here for, the graphics. This is the single biggest jump of this laptop, because we've moved from integrated graphics at $500 to a dedicated RTX 3060 graphics card now, which as far as the general population's laptops are concerned, easily puts us in the top 5%. Should be a night and day improvement. It's loaded in about third of the time the last one. And the cool bit is that this is powerful enough that this isn't even running just normal GTA. This is GTA plus an additional set of graphics mods called the ENB series, which adds on additional effects like depth of field and motion blur and better water. This is the biggest jump so far. Textures are super high resolution. Now this graphics card also supports real-time ray tracing, which is why the lighting looks so ridiculously realistic. I can't even picture what the next laptop's going to look like. And you can see the lighting in real time when these cars going past. So if $1,200 is already the luxury premium experience, what on earth does a $7,000 laptop do? Time for the mothership, the MSI Titan. All of a sudden, the presentation has taken not just a step, but a leap forward. The box is super premium and dense. The laptop is the first thing you see, and it comes packing. You get a little Dragon, for some reason. You get a 128GB USB stick, which is pretty cool because it's got separate ends for both USB-C and USB-A, and there's actually double the storage that the entire first laptop came with. The thing even comes with a proper mouse inside, and then a power supply rivaling the volume of the first laptop. The Titan itself. My god, what has this thing been eating? So, to answer the question, at $7,000, you get everything. Every cutting-edge feature that a laptop could possibly offer. Everything that you don't need, but you really want. It's here. So, for example, this is not just a standard membrane keyboard like the rest of the laptops have. Or in other words, one big plastic sheet with pressure pads underneath each key. This is a mechanical keyboard. Every single key is its own moving part, with its own mechanism to make each press just feel that extra bit crispy and purposeful. I didn't know this until I just used it, but as far as laptop keyboards go, this is what a 10 feels like. Plus the LED system makes it look like a unicorn just vomited all over it. And I'm not complaining about that. There are lights everywhere on this thing. There's the keyboard, there's the logo, these two strips over here, the engine?
Why
What even is this? And the control that you get over them is absolutely nuts. Look at the software. Just for the logo alone, I can pick every color it cycles through, the speed it cycles, how it cycles, and here at the bottom, I've got individual control over every single one of these zones. And the keyboard is even more insane. You can literally customize how each individual key reacts to being pressed. This is kind of a fun. So this is how the speakers sounded on the original $70 laptop. Just use this as a point of reference of where we've come from. This is what the Titan sounds like. This is a world of difference. I mean, technically, that's not a huge surprise. This laptop is 100 times the price of this laptop, and it has a quad speaker system with two separate woofers just to handle bass. It's only just fully occurring to me how ridiculously bright the screen is. It's got the same 144 Hz refresh rate as the last one, but instead of it being a full HD IPS panel, it's an Ultra HD mini LED panel. It's based on similar LCD tech as before, but instead of having like one main backlight that shines onto it, you have thousands of tiny LEDs that give you basically extreme levels of color fidelity and contrast. Or in other words, 2 times the brightness and 4 times the resolution. I mean, I could just keep going on and on. It's got even more extreme Wi-Fi to the point where your router is going to be the bottleneck. Even faster USB ports to the point where whatever you're transferring from will be the limiting factor. A proper cooling system, 4 fans, 6 exhausts, and 8 pipes. But the thing that I'm most interested in is what this means for performance and gaming. So this is running the Intel Core i9 13980 8X processor, which is probably the most gobbledygook naming I've ever heard from a tech company. But basically means 24 cores, 32 threads, a technical max of 5.6 GHz without even overclocking, and 29,604 points in Cinebench, more than doubling the already high ceiling of the last laptop. And the RTX 4090 graphics is an even bigger jump. It's gonna mean we can take Grand Theft Auto to a whole other level. Oh my goodness. So you know how with the last laptop we had a graphics mod on GTA? Right now, we're running 11 separate graphics mods at the same time. And this looks absolutely ridiculous. This is probably the most advanced graphics I've ever seen on a video game. There are mods for everything right now. Lighting, textures, bloom, ray tracing. Even stuff like the density of vegetation. Goodness me. Look at the reflections of the entire city on the water. I will say the fans are going absolutely out of control. Completely worth it for this. One thing that I find absolutely hilarious, though, is that for all the things this laptop does, look at the quality of the webcam. Why, MSI? Why? Now, if you ever find yourself spending large sums of money online, like I have here, please do yourself a favor and install PayPal Honey, because it helps you avoid paying any more than you need to. Like for this MSI Katana laptop, I was going to buy it for the full $1,400 that it was meant to be, but in one second, Honey was just like, nope, you can get it cheaper here. And then when there isn't a cheaper website, you just tap the Honey button in your browser, and it'll automatically search through currently available coupon codes for the website you're on, and just apply the one that saves you the most money. And on average, when it finds a coupon code, it's saving you 18% on sites that you're already shopping on. It doesn't make sense to not be using it. So, just add it to your browser now for free at joinhoney.com/boss.
Alright, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and have a good day. Thank you.